Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. Duncan and Arnell here with another episode of the Firebelly Social Show, where we chat and focus on founders and leaders of mission-driven food and beverage brands. And I'm so excited to be here today. We've got a great guest. What's up, Arnell?
What's up, Duncan? And thanks everyone for tuning in to this latest episode of the Firebelly Social Show. We have a great show lined up for you today, talking with Scott, founder of Odyssey Elixir. This episode is brought to you by Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-based food and beverage brands bring people closer through social media marketing. So if you're ready to use social media to create more community and excitement around your food and beverage brand, go to firebellymarketing.com to learn more.
You guys, I am so excited today for so many reasons. I'm a big believer in the power of mushrooms, but to have Scott Frohman, who is a serial entrepreneur and is someone that has used functional mushrooms for years, and he's the kind of guy that doesn't just sit around. He decides to make a difference. And so he created a ready-to-drink beverage, Odyssey Elixir. I'm having one as we speak. I'm drinking the blackberry lemon twist. And so I've been a customer for years, and they've really changed the way mushrooms are being consumed in the functional beverage space. So with no further ado, Scott, my man, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Duncan, and thanks, RL. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate what you guys do and help to, really open the doors for exposure. And you're starting a new brand and you're getting it out there, and it's really appreciative that you guys are out there to do good. And so thanks a lot. Glad to be part of your show.
Thanks, Scott. And we know that you have a great story to tell. So let's just jump into it. How did you decide to start Odyssey? And give us a little bit of the origin story.
The origin is it stemmed from me always like looking to be really health conscious and always trying to try new things out. And a friend of mine had developed this mushroom based powder going back about 10 years ago, and I started to add it to my coffee. And as I did that, and I was driving to work, I started to realize, I'm like, wow, like everything just seems so much more vibrant. The sky was bluer, the leaves were greener. And I had this more sustainable energy. And when I got to work, I felt like I was just more focused, and I was just more clear, and I was just more present. And then, one thing led to another. I started to really incorporate this for many years. And then in the afternoons, I started drinking it without the coffee. I used to give out Cuban coffee to my people who work for me. And then, in the afternoons, kind of perk everybody up. And everyone started seeing me drinking this mushroom powder, and with some warm water. And all of a sudden, everyone started to drink it, and I said, I want to see you have a better, more sustainable life, and like not just to kind of wire you up here in the afternoons with caffeine and sugar from the Cuban coffee, but and then maybe you don't sleep as well, and you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, and and everyone started wanting the mushrooms. So I said, scratch the Cuban coffee, and that was the impetus that I really like these mushrooms, and I really felt like how it really affected us in a good way. So, with that, I thought to myself, I sold my last company, which was a hemp CBD company. I was doing really good business with that. And I felt like I really want to make a mushroom-based coffee. It was a mushroom-based coffee. That's what it started with, but actually, it was a mushroom-based coffee, yeah.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
That's really cool, phenomenal. I think it's really interesting you bring up CBD too. It's transitioning from CBD into mushrooms. So that being said, let's talk about mushrooms a little bit more. One, what were some of the hurdles that you faced introducing mushrooms? Assuming that you had to educate your public a little bit about that. And then just would love to get your thoughts on your transition from CBD into mushrooms.
Yeah, so, I guess when I first started with the mushrooms, some of the thoughts were that, how am I going to really get it to taste good? There was a few different mushroom-based, coffee powders that were starting to develop, for Sigmatic, and then, the mud water and stuff like that. And I felt like I can do better, but I felt like I had to really the mushroom, because that's why I was doing a latte, and I really wanted to do an RTD, all self-contained and ready to go. And that I found a great, beverage formulation company, but then I really went out to really find the right mushroom manufacturer, and I found this company where really extract out the fiber. This company's in business for decades, by the way, and now the sons are running the business, and they develop a lot of technology and to extract out the fiber and be left with this high potency extract. And I'm able to really use that extract and get it to what's called emulsify within the drink, not mudding up the drink. It's coffee, and coffee is phenomenal. And I'm like, wow. And then what happened was during COVID, I had a little setback. So like the co-packer couldn't go and bring me production. So I was like, maybe what you do is I'll make a couple of teas, and I made 3 teas and 3 coffees. Well, I put them out. Sudden, I went out to California. I knocked on the doors at Air One in LA. People like, don't go in there. No one's gonna appreciate you day one. You just launched product. I walked in everywhere. Air One wound up taking the product, really exciting. And then, from there, we started selling it all throughout Florida, a lot of stores. And I said to myself, I had one for energy, using more on the cordyceps side, and one with more lion's mane, more for focus and clarity. And what happened was when I took these 2 coffees, I put them together and I drank them down. It was like, I was like, oh my God, like this is absolutely phenomenal. Like this is how everybody's going to want to feel. I got energy. I have no jitters. I feel focused. I feel clarity. I feel present. I feel like I got like the limitless pill here. You know what I mean? I felt really good. And I said, you know what? But the latte had a lot of calories, when you put the oat milk in and stuff like that. And I said to myself, this can really be a new forward-thinking energy drink, but an energy drink that's about cognitive, a energy drink that's just not about wiring you out on 200-300 milligrams of caffeine. And I found that the mushrooms actually help with the caffeine because it helps to give you a more sustainable energy without the crash. So I said, my God, this can really be like the forward thinking of Red Bull and Monster. Like this could be like the new forward thinking energy drink. And this could really help people a real lot because a lot of people are just like taking these energy drinks. They're wiring themselves out. They're crashing later, leading to anxiety, leading to a lot of, like lows. And I said, wow, I really think I could do good by people and put this product out and people could really have a great existence by drinking this. And then I won't have to add the latte. I won't have to add all the extra calories and stuff like that. I'm going to make it really clean. I'm going to add as many organic ingredients as I possibly can. And that was the impetus to get started with. And then as I went, by the way, I ended up getting rid of the coffees, unfortunately, because having a financial vision, which products could I possibly financially support? And there was such a great take rate on the sparkling. So, with CBD, I got in very, very early. And fortunately enough, I had all this great business that I built. And I had a lot of these vape, smoke, and head shops. And I love that business. And I love the people I did business with. And those people were the people that helped me to be able to get this product launched. Because you see, I didn't come from beverage. So I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who to sell to. So who was the first people I went to? I went to all my cash and carry distributors that were selling CBD, the people that would sell it at the early days before anybody understood it clearly, before all the big companies thought, I was able to go to them and say, hey guys, I got this great mushroom beverage, and they took it on, and that helped me generate sales. That helped me go test out the product. That helped me to see which SKUs were going to sell the best. That helped me to really dial in on labels and flavor and effect. And, and all that happened. And today, we're in thousands of stores. We're in Publix in Florida, Central Market in Dallas, where, as you know, Fresh Time, we're all throughout San Francisco, LA, all throughout the Midwest. We got, big distributors now, and this all happened in the last 18 months. So, fortunately enough, I've been able to really have great relationships from the past, and that served me and that helped me. And, here we are today.
I mean, it is a phenomenal journey. And I think what we are just so impacted by is your energy and your passion. So I got a follow-up question for you. So, your product tastes so good. And what's the story behind that? I was reading about how it's there are parts of the mushroom that you use and don't use. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so look, we there's a lot of parts of the fiber that really don't have much nutritional value. Okay, what we did is we really used the true potency of the mushroom that have added to the effect of the cognition, of the focus, the clarity, and also that's on the lion's mane side of things, and on the cordyceps side of things, cordyceps are really known for endurance. They're really known for vitality. So we really, also stripped out a lot of the fiber that doesn't come with the nutritional, with much of the value for the effect. And, with that, I started with, look, I did this right off the bat, where I went to a top beverage formulation company. And with that, we were able to really source like the greatest of organic flavors, so I wanted the drink to not only have great effect, but I really wanted the drink to have, that would be really enjoyable to drink. A lot of other companies use sucralose, as added sweeteners in there. They kind of call it like natural flavors, but they're quite honestly not of the greatest of quality of flavors. A lot of it is not the same. And, we really went with real, true, honest flavors, mostly organic where we could. And, and we sweetened, mostly with with some monk fruit and that comes with a cost. But when I went into this, I didn't look at the cost. I looked at, I wanted the greatest product in the world. And I really didn't take any of the cost factors into consideration. Now, we just got done making over 2 million cans on our last run. So things have developed where we could now really negotiate strong with our co-packers and our suppliers and really get to great pricing. And, and everyone's really working with us strongly because they see the kind of results that we're getting. But, I never went into this with the idea of it not, what the cost would be, but I went into it with just making the greatest product. And I think that's what wound up happening. We wound up, that's how we got to these great flavors. And the flavors really are, noticeable without having, hardly any sugar, no added sugar, and, very low net carbs. And here we are. So it's really an exciting project. I really love what I do.
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell your passion come through, and it's really inspiring. I wanted to ask you about the sacred geometric cube. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So, when I first started, we used multiple sacred geometries, and, I really like the whole kind of power of the universe, and what you put out is what comes back, and, where you put your focus is where you go and things like that. And I really kind of connected with the sacred geometries, and there's different ones for different, whether it's for healing or for, strength or, empowerment and things like that. And I thought to myself, I use multiple sacred geometries. Each product when we first started had its own, kind of, one was for immunity and one was for, energy, and one was for focus. And we had different sacred geometries. We used the sacred geometry that connected, with those purposes. And, but then what happened was that as things kind of developed, I really decided that I really wanted to stay focused in one particular area. I felt like there was a real need in the energy drink market for people to have an alternative, and there really wasn't a product that was out there where people could lead them away from what they were drinking already, into something else, like something that would really help them to cross over out of these, some of these energy drinks. Because I think a lot of the energy drinks that are out there today, it's almost like a necessary evil. People gotten so used to it that you wake up and you kind of like need to run right into that caffeine. And I'm not against caffeine, and we use caffeine in our drinks. And now we actually just launched even a higher milligram strength caffeine drink as well. And I want to touch upon that in a second also. But, the the point is that we felt that we wanted to have a product that was really about the focus and the clarity, and that we felt that the energy space was like a space that people, the market needed something fresh and new. Red Bull and Monster were developed 30 years ago, and quite honestly, there really hasn't been much development in that area, and we all have a lot of things that are on our list of things to do. So we all want to go to those energy drinks, and I felt like I felt like using the mushrooms, that could really make a big difference in people's lives. And I got a lot of people now come back to us and say, wow, I was able to really cross over from this drink that I was drinking, which was basically like I start my drink, I drink it, I get wired, I'm operating from up here, and in a very high, kind of like wiry kind of way. And then, all of a sudden, I start feeling the kind of like, coming off that, and then I feel the low, and then I'm like, what do I do now? And, I felt like there could be a better existence. But back to the sacred geometry, being that we dialed that in, we decided to focus on one sacred geometry, which was the Metatron cube. And the Metatron cube basically incorporates all sacred geometries, so that this was able to really give us power. And it was a really oddball story about how it actually specifically came about. But that's the Metatron cube was the key, because I felt like it incorporated all, and I felt like it would really help to empower people to live their best lives. And that's how I got to why I picked the Metatron cube.
That's super cool. I was gonna, I know, Arnell, I apologize. I was just gonna ask about a teeny bit about nootropics and adaptogens, and the power associated with them.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think that at the end of the day, do we really want to be all like revved up, or do we just really want to be more conscious? Do we want to just be more present? You know what I mean? When we're with people, do we want to just feel like we connect with them, right? When we're in nature, we want to connect with nature, right? When you're kind of doing your work, you feel like you want to be, excited and mood boosting to do the work that you're doing and have fun with it and win at it. Or if it's, going through, whatever you're doing throughout your day, you're driving in your car, you just want to, feel good. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we want. And when today there's just so much, like, we just multitask so many things, and we're getting hit by so many different areas of social media and emails and text messages and such, that it's very easy to get kind of scattered. And I feel like by using the mushrooms, it helps us to, really be more aligned and have better clarity. And when you feel more clear, that's when you feel your best self. That's when you feel more elevated. It's when you feel that you got a lot of noise going on in your mind and you're really scattered. That's when you start to feel stressed. That's when you start to feel anxious. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy that, what we're doing here is using the power of the mushrooms to give people that kind of alignment, that kind of consciousness. And then, and then that's where we come to adding the caffeine, or not really adding the caffeine. For the people who want more caffeine in the mornings and they want that extra, kind of boost, we now develop what we call our 222, 222 milligrams of caffeine. And there's a lot of people, Starbucks coffees, some of them are 400 milligrams of caffeine. So there's people that have just gotten, used to the caffeine. But with us, with the mushrooms, it gives it more sustainability. And then we have an 85 milligram, which is our core line, which is, the one that we've started with. And the core line of 85, people love the 85 because it has just enough caffeine, like a cup of coffee from a diner, that kind of gets people going a bit, but like in a healthy way, without having so much. And then, now, what you haven't seen it yet, but Revive is coming out. And Revive, I'm so excited about Revive, because Revive is no caffeine, and, you feel the mushrooms in such a great way. And we added magnesium and potassium and zinc and vitamin C. And we developed that product specifically for the idea of people who go to, let's say, a festival, a music festival, and you need replenishment, or, people are out hiking throughout the day, or, just wanting something that's refreshing and something that's more than drinking a LaCroix or a Spindrift. And I'm not knocking any of that, okay? Because I drink them myself, but like something that adds the functionality that helps to add, a little bit more to the clarity and makes you feel more hydrated and refreshed than your just a typical drink. So Revive, I'm super stoked about Revive. I think it's going to fit into a lot of people's lifestyles and a lot of different places. And that's what we're doing. So we're using the power of the mushrooms for the nootropics of what we do, and then we're just kind of like adding, where what other ingredients for the different things that people are really looking for.
Very cool. So I know you're a really busy guy, and one question for you is, how do you take care of yourself as a busy entrepreneur? And then I would love to know, what are some of your favorite flavors? How do you like to enjoy Odyssey?
Okay, great. Well, that's a good one for me. I love talking about Odyssey, because I kind of like develop them all like based upon like what I like, because at the beginning, that's all I really had to go with, But, I think, look, I meditated this morning, like I got boundaries, and I meditated, and I sat back, and it's really important. And I take the time, and I really think it's like important to align myself. And I think when I do that, it's really great. The other thing is I do a lot of transitions. So like every time, like if I have a meeting, I usually give myself 15-minute transition before like my next meeting. So I don't just go back to back. I just don't go right into the next thing. And I think it's really important. And I'm really discerning about like what I say yes to. I say no to so much because I would rather just be great at the few things that I focus on and make sure to do great there than try and, do too many things and feel that I'm being diluted out. So I'm very particular about what I say yes to. I say no to mostly everything. And the transitions I think are really important. And I make sure to keep that balance. It's like, if I win at work and we make this great success and financial success and help people throughout the world and people live in better lives, that's spectacular. And that's really important to me. But what else is also important to me? My family. When I come home, I win here and I'm not winning with my children and my wife, then what is it all for? You know what I mean? Like that's not cool. Or maybe I don't take care of myself physically. Well, that's not cool either. So I look at like life in 4 boxes. There's the work life and success. There's my family and my friends. Okay. There's my own, personal spirituality and hobbies. Okay. And then there's my physical. So of taking care of myself. And I'm not saying that I don't like, take from one area and push a little bit more into other areas at different times. I do. Okay. It's like the rest of us, But I think that I really try to make sure that, winning to me is winning in all those 4 boxes.
That's really inspiring, Scott. Thank you so much for sharing that. As a leader, and you've done several ventures, how important you are to leading all these things forward. And I guess in a teeny tiny way, what Arnell and I want to do today is just a thank you for doing this, because making the world better. And I think leaders are just being a leader myself, and leaders are not thanked enough, and all the recognition in the world, but hey, a simple thank you for making all our lives better. So thank you so much for doing that.
No, it's my absolute pleasure. I love giving back to the world. The world has done, I've had so much great life, and I look forward to a whole lot more great life. And, I think it's important. I think it's like, we should all be trying to do the best that we possibly can. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes we just got to there's not much to give outside of what we try to take care of for ourselves. And I get that. And there's a lot of hardship in life at times. And I've been there myself many times. And, where I can give back at times, that's my, it's something I'm blessed with having the ability to be able to do. And I feel like I need to, it's what's important, and it's what God's given me great gifts, and I need to really utilize those gifts to doing good. So here we are. So yeah, I love what we're doing, and we got a great team, and there's a lot of camaraderie here at Odyssey, and I think that I'm very confident that you're going to be seeing a lot of Odyssey as we continue to go, and we appreciate you putting me on the show and helping us to share the story of what we're doing and what goes on over here at our company.
Absolutely. Scott, if I'm not mistaken, I know Arnell is very particular about this, is people can find you odysseyelixir.com, but also Odyssey Elixir on all social media.
Yeah, we're at TikTok, we're at, Odyssey Elixir, on Instagram, and our website is Odyssey Elixir. And, we're going to, those other products, the 222s and the Revives, we should have those up on the sites very soon, probably in the next few days. And, we're also on Amazon. Amazon's been great to us. We've done, really nice work with Amazon. And here we are. But yeah, thank you very much again.
Thank you so much for having us, being on the show. Arnell, you got a little message there for us?
Of course. So this episode is brought to you guys by Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-based food and beverage brands bring people closer through social media marketing. So if you're ready to use social media to create more community and excitement around your food and beverage brand, go to firebellymarketing.com to learn more.
Thank you, Arnell. Thank you so much, Scott. This has been a total privilege having you here. And at the Firebelly Social Show, we focus in and feature mission-driven companies and specifically their leaders who are making the world a better place. Thank you for everything you do, Scott. Thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.